Welcome to Elton's Retirement Journey and Travel. My name is John, and I am here today to give you my assessment of taking Social Security at 62. So we are pretty much done with 2024. It's the 15th on a Sunday, and we got 15 more days or 16 more days before we go into 2025. And I spent the whole year as someone who is 62 years old. And during the summer, I started thinking about the option of what it would be like to retire early. So I did assessment and I got on my uh, Social Security and I looked at what I would get um, if I collected it this year. And I matched that up with my budget. And the way it looks is with just if I kept the mortgage, and I think that includes $100 towards the principal, I would be left with about $451 after paying all my bills. If I eliminate the mortgage, I'm at $833. And that is with no other expenses and nothing going towards healthcare. So to me, that seems a little tight. And but since I am gainfully employed and I'm still working, I just figured for me it would be the best thing just to keep working because you're on track to save about 15,000 this year between your 401k, your Roth, and the $100 I put down towards the pay down of the principal on the mortgage. I'm in my second year doing that. So if I could just hang on and continue doing that over the next 3 years, um, saving $15,000 over 3 years and adding with what I already have would do you pretty good um, long term. As well as my salary is pretty much at its highest point. So what that means is I would still be getting net calculations of the salary towards my final 35 years. So that's how it shaped out for me. Um, so I'll just continue working, but I do understand that there will be a need for some people who may need to collect as soon as possible. 90% of the people feel that you should take your Social Security as soon as it's offered. Being their calculations are over the next 3 years, which I ran the numbers at my Social Security at 62 comes out to about 23,000 a year times 3 years till you hit 65. But the big question is, what are you going to do in case of emergencies? What are you going to do with all the spare time? And where's your other money going to come from? Are you going to do contract work, doing computer support? Are you going to do the customer service job at the stadiums? Go pick up a couple more of those jobs? It just doesn't make any sense for me. But I do understand that there will be some people through health reasons. If it's just so difficult for you to stay on the job, getting up every day, or you're driving a round trip 2.5 hours. Sometimes you can get into the office if you leave real early. If you're living further out, you can get there maybe within an hour, but your drive home could easily be 2 hours. You're looking at something like that. It's like, look, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather, stay close to home. I'll get me a job at Home Depot or something like that, or Lowe's, doing some stuff that I'm good at, or whatever. It's strictly up to you. And then you have your health situation. If you're suffering to the point where you can't stand on your feet, or if you've got aches and pains, you're missing a lot of days at work. It's just more comfortable for you to be at home relaxing. Those are other reasons. And the last reason is if you got nothing else. You've been working, you have no pension, you haven't been saving, you've got no real estate investments, you don't have an inheritance, and all of a sudden you're offered enough money where you can you know, live the minimalist lifestyle, then that might be something that you want to do. And then of course you got the guys who have super low costs and they've got their investments have done very well. They're like, look, man, I'm out of here. I'm not working. I'm 58. I got enough money put away for 10 years to cover my expenses. And If that doesn't work out, I can take Social Security at 62, 67, or any time after that, because they do add a little bit to it, a few percentage here and there. But I just wanted to give my assessment on the taking Social Security at 62. It's not for everybody. Um, you don't have to necessarily worry about it because it's going to run out. Well, right now they are drawing from the trust fund, which is a savings bank. The income coming in from payroll taxes, the FICA, is not enough to cover the benefits. So they have to dip into their reserves to make all these payments. And that reserve is set to run out in 2034 if nothing's done. That means I will get my full Social Security check for 5 years. When I turn 67 in 2029, I'll get 5 years of my full benefit. But by me waiting and getting a bigger benefit, if they give me a 25% haircut, then it's not going to matter that much because I have put more money into my investments, which I can draw down on, as well as I've contributed more income to the higher uh, calculations. And by then, I would have done a number of things in my lifetime with the money I'm earning from work, where if it's a little bit less, I won't have to worry too much because I've already done things that are big ticket. And most of all, is I'm preserving the money that is invested. I'm letting it continue to grow and compound and increase over these next 3 to 5 years. I'll probably relook at this at 65. Um, but just going into retirement, there's $100,000 I need right off the bat, and that is to pay off the mortgage. Right now, there's $68,000 owed on the mortgage. If I took that Social Security, I'd have $451 in my pocket after paying all my bills, and that's too slim. If I pay it off, I go to 833, but I haven't even started paying into the Medicare. That 833 would be down about less than 400 once you start paying your Medicare premiums. And then you got the cost of inflation. Although I do have a pension kicking in at 65, it's only 255 bucks. Maybe not even that. I think it's 225. I actually covered that in one of my videos. But anyway, this is my assessment on taking Social Security at 62. It all depends on how you live and what your priorities are. If your priorities are that, hey, I just need to keep a roof over my head, I need to keep my medicine paid for, and I need to stay put. A lot of retirees are faced with, back in the old days, if you were a retiree, they knew you were on a fixed income. Your landlord at the rental places in these apartments, and you always paid your rent. They would shield you from these increases. They would just cover it. They wouldn't raise your rent. Nowadays, as soon as they buy these apartments up, they raise everybody's rent. They'll do some remodel. They'll remodel, but they're looking to get you out, and that puts a lot of senior citizens where they have their own place. Now they got to go roommate with somebody, and that's still going to be more than five, six, $700 for your own apartment. So it can be a little tricky taking that money early and stepping out of the workforce, but you just do your best in your assessments. We're coming up on the end of the year, and at the end of the year, all of the statements will come in, all of the bank account statements, all of the investment statements. And of course, I already know what I'm getting from my Social Security. And there's some software packages out there. Bolden is one. Once you get all that information, if you can plug it in there, it'll tell you how much you're short or whether or not you'll be able to do it. And that's something that I'm going to be talking about um, at the Retiring Club. I'll be preparing for our next meeting. The next meeting is going to be Tuesday. I'll be putting that video out, and I invite you to stop by. I've already got some videos out there already talking about the employer Medicare and what I would think my Medicare would cost for traditional. I took a look at the Advantage plans and I found out that I need to know all my medicines. And I took a look at that, as well as I looked at some of my 401ks and tried to pull up what the investments are using the Yahoo Finance. So there was some good stuff in there, and I invite you to go review those. It's the Retiring Club, and our next meeting is going to be on Tuesday. So this is my assessment on taking Social Security at 62. I'm going to continue to work, and I'm going to continue to save, and I'm just going to wait until they fire me, and then I'll think about uh, taking early retirement. Until then, I'm going to hang in there and push through to 67, but I will take a closer look at 65. So this is John with the John's Re- Elton's retirement journey and travel, and inviting you to stop by the Retiring Club. Thanks for listening.